There is a noble sentiment towards populism. It is right and good to want what is good for the mass man. Ultimately, the perennial tradition subsists in recognizing, not in an abstract way, but in a concrete way, the identity of the will, recognizing the ultimate equality of all life. That is very easy to corrupt, however, that conception. There is a divine spark, and in its divinity, it remains beyond comparison, beyond differentiation, something that is in us that is absolutely one. This can be justified in a number of ways, one of which, perhaps the simplest, is simply to recognize that there is always an inherent unity in any opposition. The fact that we are differentiated implies that there is some common ground from which the composition of our individual selves is generated. There's a common seed, the recognition of which leads to compassion. And that's where that noble instinct towards populism comes from. Now, there is also an ignoble sentiment towards populism, the anarchic, democratic one, which conflates this divine seed in man with the mundane, materialistic qualities of the personality. This is the apotheosis of matter, which is born from a materialistic world order. And they live, however much they think they live in a material world, in a world of abstraction. And it is only in such a world that the obvious discrepancy between the virtue of the aristocrat and the vice of the peasant is not recognized, not acknowledged, put away from the mind, and hidden from our discriminative faculties. So that's that ignoble sentiment towards populism. Every man is just as good as every other, and therefore all authority is a sham. I am an elitist because I hold that noble sentiment towards populism. I apologize for the self-aggrandizement, but I care about people, and I recognize that people need leaders. They need examples. We're apes. Monkey see, monkey do. Highfalutin concepts of value mean nothing unless you have an example to follow. So, there's also an ignoble elitism, which involves the same divinization of the material, personal man and the celebration of his qualities as though they were his own accomplishment. That's the type of elitism that gets into its special little clubs and discusses its esoteric knowledge with those who are enlightened enough to see. Now, that sort of organization can also occur for the good of the mass man. But really, it's a matter of sentiment. It's how you comport yourself to the task. So, elitism is necessary for a good populism. Elitism has its dangers, and populism has its dangers. As always, the middle path is best. Thank you for listening.